what you gotta say, but don't play. Say what you gotta say, but don't play. Say what you gotta say, but don't play.
What is up, you guys? It's your spiritual fairy godmother, and I am back. Okay, except for I'm not back with another read. Today I am back with a smoke session. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it. So today's topic is going to be knowing when God has like ordered your steps, or knowing when to move, knowing when to go with the flow. Pretty much just I don't know. So what prompted me to actually do this topic, y'all know I do this before every video. I was actually watching a Nick and Carla Glamazante reaction video, and it was basically about God kind of ordering her steps, and she basically just saying, like, you know, she didn't really make the decision for herself. She kind of felt like nothing was working out in her favor, like nothing was going how it was supposed to go. So yeah, that's what made me want to talk about this today, because I'm actually experiencing a very similar thing where God is ordering my steps. So I wanted to come on here and talk about it with you guys. So if y'all got a blunt, a bong, some tea, coffee, snacks, food, whatever you got, go ahead and get it, because we finna go ahead and talk about it, okay? All right. Cheers. All right, y'all. So basically, yeah, so this topic can pertain to pretty much anything. It can pertain to shit, literally anything. But for me, I feel like a lot of times I am so fixated on a specific outcome, on things being the specific way that I saw them being, on things being exactly how I want them to go. Like sometimes it's not even that I'm hyper fixated on how an outcome or how I think an outcome is supposed to go. Sometimes it's just like, shit, I want that. Like, you get tired of like not having shit go your way, or things kind of happening out of your control. And I think that's when a lot of us tend to hold on a little bit tighter. Like when we don't really have control, when we don't really know what to do, when we don't really know where to go, what to say, how to make something happen. I feel like a lot of times when we don't know what to do, we hold on really, really tight to whatever it is that we do know, right? Which is usually nothing, because we're fucking human beings. You know, a lot of times we hold on to the past. Well, this happened, or this should have happened, or this, you know, you did it like this. Or I feel like when shit hit the fan, that's when you really know that God is about to move in your life. I don't know if y'all have noticed that, but take a deep look at your life. Like, for real. When you got some time, when you got a minute, like, really sit down and, like, ask yourself, look at some of the deepest emotional times in your life. Look at some of the times where you were going through the most. Look at some of the times where you felt like, damn, like, I don't know how shit is going to be fixed, or I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. Like, think about times like that, and then think about kind of like what happened shortly after, what happened a month later, or what happened when you thought, oh, I don't want to leave this relationship, and then something happens to where you have to leave the relationship, and then, sorry y'all, my nose is running. You have to leave the relationship, and then you realize, oh, I really did find my soulmate. Or, you know, you realize, you know, I'm so used to being in my hometown with my family, and then you move, you know, like on a whim, maybe because your job literally forced you to go and you didn't have no choice, and you get to move to North Carolina or something, and you thinking like, damn, I don't got nobody, but you meet your whole soul tribe, right? So basically, I say all of this to say, a lot of times we think God is doing things to us. We think people are doing things to us. Why is this happening to me? And to be honest, I think sometimes God has to take reins. Like, I feel like sometimes God has to take control. And it just is what it is. There is absolutely nothing that people can do about it. There's nothing that we can do about it. Sometimes I feel like God will, and I don't even want to say it's because you're not listening or because you're not following orders. You're not, you're not doing the right thing. I don't want it to always be, because I do believe in karma, but I don't want everything to be, if I'm not doing enough, then I won't get enough. If I'm doing something bad, everything bad is going to happen to me. I don't want to spew that, because I feel like the story of Job, I feel like it's blameless. It's not your fault. It's not, it's just how things happen. It's just how God kind of like ordered the steps. So it's just like sometimes when things happen, you have to understand when things could potentially be bigger. When God is putting it in the front of your face to maybe let something go, or to get rid of something, or to move something, to get a new vehicle, to get new friends, to let go of people in your life, to maybe let go of that car that you've been holding on to, let go of that friend or that way of thinking, or that hobby that you love but that's straining on your knee, and for work you need to be able to do the mail or whatever. I just feel like a lot of times we get so caught up on just one outcome, one way of being, one thought, one ideal, and we stick with it. And God is kind of showing me that sometimes we just gotta go with the flow. We literally have to recognize when God is ordering our steps, because if you don't recognize it, you'll sit in victimhood. You'll sit in, oh, I don't know why this, or I don't know why that, or why me, and just taking it harder than it needs to be. I feel like a lot of times we hold on to so many emotions that could potentially be fleeting. Like, everything don't have to last 3-4 days. Everything don't gotta be depression. Everything don't gotta be, oh my God, I'm taking it over the edge. Like, yeah, our feelings need to be validated, but at the same time, sometimes God knows that our feelings get in the way, so God gotta do the work for us. God has to literally like intervene. And lately I feel like God has been intervening in my life. Like, I'm gonna come back and do an update video on a lot of stuff that's going on with me, because I don't want to speak on anything. It's still fresh and I'm not really ready to. I'm still processing everything that's happening, or what did happen. So it's like, I need to figure out for myself, like, okay, what do you need me to do? So sometimes it's good for me to just be in solitude, like just be by myself, or to not always be watching TV, to not always be on my phone, to not always be posting, or even just talking to y'all. Sometimes I can't come and talk about it with y'all if I haven't gathered up how I really feel, because sometimes I'll notice, like, I'll come and talk about it with y'all, but then after I watch it back, I'll maybe feel differently after hearing myself speak. So my steps were still divinely ordered. I was supposed to come talk about it, but I was meant to talk about it to, whether it was minister to other people or minister to myself, I was meant to do that, So it's kind of like, regardless of how I feel about whatever it is that I'm doing, whether I feel like I'm fucking up, or I'm not doing enough, or I should be doing this, I could be doing this, like, sometimes you just have to give it to God. Especially like when things are overwhelming, when things kind of just like happen. Like, let's say you had just signed up for school, like you thought shit was gonna be good, like you was prepared, you was ready, you thought you was gonna get this refund check, and that was gonna help you like buy books and like get a laptop and have your shit together. Then 2 weeks later you find out, damn, like my financial aid didn't go through. A lot of times we'll be like, well, that means we're not supposed to go to college, or this means, like, we'll try to fixate on what's supposed to happen, when really we just gotta do our part. Like, whatever you can do, okay, if there is something that I can do, I'm gonna do it. Okay, let me go over the paperwork, let me check this, let me try to do this. But if it gets to the point where like they're telling you, okay, you didn't meet the deadline, or you don't qualify, or you don't whatever, sometimes it may be God ain't need you to be in college that semester, but I'm not telling you no, but maybe it's for next semester. Then you don't even realize that during that time that you're not at school, you get discovered or some shit. It ain't like you can't go back to school next year or in 2 years, but you just got discovered because you had time to be perfecting your craft, even though you thought you were supposed to be at school, right? So when things start to get hard, when things are in a state of confusion, when you don't really know where God is leading you, when you don't really know where God is taking you and what you're supposed to be doing, sit yourself down and listen. Sit yourself down and maybe ask God, like, okay, what you want to say to me? Like, what, like, I'm ready to listen, or I'm open, I'm ready to receive whatever newness that you have for me. A lot of times we get scared of things changing because we don't know what to expect. We don't know what's coming. It's like the fear of the unknown. But what if we trained our mind to just believe that something good was going to be the outcome, like something positive, something amazing, something that we've been waiting on, something that we've prayed for. You know, a lot of times we don't assume the best. Like, we don't automatically go for, oh, things are going to be good. You know, unless you grew up with shit just going right for you, unless you're just a very positive person. But for some of us, that's a taught behavior. Like, we have to teach ourselves to be positive. We have to train our mind to not think, oh, this is bad gonna happen. Like, sometimes I notice myself, like, not really knowing what I'm supposed to be doing, and then it's like I'll just assume because I haven't heard back, or because this person didn't communicate, or because this bill I forgot to pay, or because this happens, or because I didn't do this, or I didn't go here, and then the place closed. It's like sometimes I get so hard on myself, like, damn, you know, it's my fault, or it's a bad outcome gonna happen because I forgot to go, or because the store closed. But sometimes it be like, I just be needing to calm down. Like, I just be needing to just accept whatever it is. Like, I get really frustrated really, really fast. That's one thing about me that I'm trying to work on. Like, a lot of times I just let my feelings, like, overpower everything. Overpower the logic of life. And it's time consuming mentally to always assume something bad is going to happen, because then you create scenarios of the bad shit happening. Then for me, I try to figure out how I'm gonna handle the bad shit, and how I'm gonna get over the bad shit, or how I can already fix the bad shit that hasn't even happened yet. So it's too much when I could just focus on something good is going to come out of this. Something positive is going to come out of this. God is leading my steps. Sometimes we don't realize that God is leading our steps, but he is. It's like when bad shit starts to happen, when bad things start to happen, maybe that's when you should pause. Maybe that's when you should go into prayer. Maybe that's when you should kind of try to see, you know, like, a lot of times we can't control. I say a lot of times, basically, I say all this to say, like, there's a lot of things that I repeat a lot, but yeah, a lot of the times I just feel like we get so fixated on what we're used to and our past. And if you're anything like me, the past ain't always pretty, and it's very time consuming to continuously live in the past. So just moving on and understanding and getting yourself out of the same mental headspace of bad things happening, or something wrong gonna happen, or why me, I can't find the perfect home, I can't lease the perfect car. Maybe you looking for a car, maybe it's tax season, it's time to start looking for a car, you can't find not one car. Maybe it's time to work on your credit. Maybe God is telling you, hey, I know you used to get in cars like this, but how about we try to do this, you know? And you probably thinking, dang, I don't want the extra bill, but maybe God is teaching you responsibility. Maybe your credit gonna go up like 6 points, or whatever. You know, it's like you never know what can come out of allowing things to just be. Like, you don't always gotta be on go mode. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. You can't always fix shit. You can't always be the fixer. You can't always make it happen. Even if you in your heart believe it's gonna happen, sometimes that's the magic of God. Like, that's having faith, is just letting God do it. sometimes you don't gotta be doing everything. You don't gotta work so hard. Like with my baby, it's a lot of shit that she can do herself. Like, you know, she 5. It's a lot of stuff she can do herself, but it's like, why? Why if she don't have to? Like, she gonna have her whole life to know how to tie her shoe, you know? If I'm her mom and I can make her life a little bit easier, if she can spend time watching TV and not sitting here fiddling with her shoe and I could just tie it, like, why not? Sometimes in my life, I be feeling like I just want people to come in and make my life easier. Like, I don't want to have to always be the best friend. Like, I don't want to always have to have all the mental capacity to be there for you. Or I don't have to have the same amount of money as you for me to want you to help me with something or treat me to lunch or do something for me or jobs and shit. Like, I don't have to overextend myself and do more work than what I'm getting paid for just to prove to y'all that I'm a good worker or something like that. It's like, I'm a good worker because I do my job. Like, I don't, you know, sometimes it's just like, I just want to be okay with being me and still feel like I can receive blessings or still feel like I'm worthy or I'm deserving. You know, I don't always want to put value on how I'm coming, because when I can't always come like that, I don't want my value to be diminished as if I'm not as good as what I can do for somebody. So if I'm in a season where I can't really do much, like my hands are kind of tied, I don't really know what to do, kind of things are just happening in my life. So if you're going for a whirlwind, like God is just, your life is being shaken up right now, like shit just is like random and not like what you're used to. So maybe the last 3 years you used to holidays being a certain type of way, now this year is gonna be different. Or you used to always having a car, now maybe you having car troubles. You used to having a man, now maybe you're single. Or, you know, you used to all your family being around, now your uncle passed, or, you know, something like that. So it's like, if something different is happening to you, if you're going through something that maybe you've never experienced before, you don't really know how to handle, ask yourself what you want to happen. You know, like, what's a good outcome that could happen? Even if you don't know how it's gonna happen or you don't know how you can make it happen, that don't mean you can't think about it. You know, I'm not saying you gotta force it to happen, you know, but like, do what you can. Do the little things that you can to show that you're ready for that next step. But don't stay stuck, don't wallow, and don't assume the worst. Because when bad shit happens, that's when God is like talking to you. I feel like that's when God is kind of like ordering your steps the most. That's when God is like, hey, you know, like I needed to get your attention. Like, you know, and it's like, why maybe we don't give God as much attention and gratitude and thanks when things are going good. So when things are going bad and, you know, he's able to pull us out of that, then are we maybe more thankful and more grateful. So maybe use this time to be a little bit more thankful for the things that you do have, even if things are getting shooken up, even if your life looks a little bit different than what you're used to. Be grateful that it's different, or be grateful for the ways in which you're appreciative, or, you know, the ways that things have changed in a good way. I definitely feel like now is the time to go over your life and just appreciate what you've already gotten through, appreciate what you've grown through, appreciate what has kind of made you stronger, what has made you better. And look at this as preparation. Look at this as God making you better in some type of way, or preparing you for greatness in some type of way. Look at this as the workout. You know, like, you're getting your gains, you're gonna get your blessing. You kind of just got to be patient. You got to hold out, and you can't assume that it's going to be this way forever. If you're in limbo, if you're confused, if you don't know what the hell is going to happen next, wait it out and allow God to kind of show you, because what you're asking for is not even as grand as what God has for you. So wait it out, be patient, you know, and allow it to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Leave y'all comments down below. Talk about it in them comments. Let me know how y'all feel about it. All right. Share it on all your social medias. And I am out of here, you guys.